Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Dr. Marshall Kamena. On today's program, we will discuss the LIUNA program, which has made Bay Area media headlines all over the past year and a half. My studio guests today are Yesenia Sanchez, the Sheriff of Alameda County, Daniel Murphy, Reentry and Support Services Sergeant at the Santa Rita Jail, and Robert Robles, graduate and LIUNA employee. Welcome. Welcome, Sheriff Sanchez.
And good morning.
Thank you for being here with us today. We have waited 169 years for you. That's how old the Sheriff's Department is here in Alameda County. Yeah. I hope you and your guests will tell us about the importance of reentry services at Santa Rita Jail.
Yeah, so thanks for having us here to highlight the LIUNA program. It is something that I've been thinking about for a number of years, even before I became sheriff. And it's because when you're working in the sheriff's office and you're working in the jail specifically, you see that we're doing the same things over and over, and we're seeing the same people come through the doors over and over again. Yes. So what was lacking was some rehabilitative services, whether it be through treatment services, but also vocational or job skills services that we're able to offer individuals so that when they actually get out of custody, they have a skill set that they can lean on so that they can actually make a living in Alameda County, which is one of the most expensive areas that you can live in. And so looking at what we were, that pretty extensive gap that we had, I knew that we were going to have to partner with community-based organizations and also our trade partners to get people trained up so that they could be successful when they left custody.
Yeah, my name is Lauro Perez. So here at the Santa Rita Jail, the Laborers Training Center and the Laborers Unions have partnered with the Sheriff's Department. We brought in a 12-week pre-apprenticeship program to where once the guys finish the apprenticeship program, they'll have a direct entry into the union. In this case, Alameda County Local 304, since this is our area. And we're on our 10th week right now. We've already obtained 17 certifications, 20 total possible certifications, anything from first aid, CPR, OSHA 10, grade check-in to construction fundamentals, which is what the guys are doing right now behind me. They're putting an overhead structure, a little bit of shade, focusing on some framing, some form work. Necessity is the creator of all invention, getting some shelves inside the Connex boxes so we can put our equipment, our materials, and our tools for storage. So 6 weeks to kind of get old bad habits out of the way, and 6 weeks to get new habits in and implement a new system, a new way of thinking, change our mindset. Direct entry straight into the union once they complete. I was very blessed, I'm going to say, because one day I was on the other side of this. On the other side, I was incarcerated here as well. And that's why I love the Laborers Union, because they don't care what you look like. They don't care what your body tint is, whether you got tattoos, what your past is. They want to know about the future and where you want to go. I had some good mentors. They were able to disciple me, push me up ahead. I've now completed 25 years in the Laborers Union, 6 as an instructor. And I'm very blessed because I'm able to give back now. I'm able to give knowledge and teach, and a lot of the things that I was entrusted with, I'm able to give back. That's all for something. It helps change your character. It helps grow you. And then you never know who's going through something. In this situation, the men that are behind me are going through a lot of the same things that a lot of us are dealing with, which is just life, When you come into a place like this, it's a dark place, it's hard, so we're able to shine the light. So I'm very grateful for the new ways of, they're gonna say rehabilitation, but we don't really say rehabilitate, right? And reentry, yes, of giving guys hope, giving them tools. I say arsenal, bags, right? To be able to have tools for whatever life may throw your way. So it's not just a job, this is a career.
Sergeant Murphy, could you please give us some details about the reentry program?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me.
Our pleasure.
So it's a 12-week program put on at the jail. We've found an area inside the jail fence line where we teach them the same skills they would get in the Regional Training Center in San Ramon that LIUNA has. They learn anything from foundation, blueprint reading, up to core drilling, skid steer, and then multi-scissor lift as well. It's a full 12-week program where they get up to 20 certificates that better prepares them to go into the union. It's a direct entry program. It's a pre-apprenticeship program. So when they get released from Santa Rita Jail, they go right into the union, and within a week they're starting work. Part of this program is we pay their initiation fees and their first 3 months of dues, and we also pay for their basic tool belt and a pair of work clothes. Again, it breaks down the barriers to reentry, which makes them more successful upon release.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk with graduate and the UNA employee, Robert Robles. Welcome back. We've been talking about the importance of the reentry programs at the Santa Rita Jail. Sergeant, would you introduce Mr. Robles to us?
Absolutely. I'd like to introduce Robert Robles. He is a graduate from our 3rd cohort of this program, and he has been successful. And I'll let him share his own experience and stories. Robert?
Hello. How you doing? Me personally, I'm forever grateful for this program. It's completely changed my life. It's given me direction. It's given me a vision. I'm totally excited. I never thought that I would be going to jail and living with a full-blown career. I've been socially impacted by the system for a long time. That cycle has been broken. I'm completely happy that these people have a vision for us and really have passion in helping us change our lives. I'm working full-time, 6 days a week. Very, very tired, but I'm happy. I have a genuine happiness. I think that without this program, I wouldn't have a plan when I left that jail. I'm not failing anymore. I'm succeeding in life. I've reestablished connection with my daughter, my family. I hold my head up high every day. Go to work, I put my head down, I come home, go to sleep, and I do it again. Without this program, I don't know where I would be. I would probably be lost out in the streets somewhere again. As of right now, I have no worries. I have confidence. This program has instilled a lot of passion and purpose in everybody that goes to this program. Teachers, they acclimate us to get up early in the mornings. 7 o'clock, we're up. We're going to work as you would on the streets. We're training hard, instilling responsibility, and making everybody in this program carry their heads high when they leave here.
Sergeant, do you have any other comments to make about the program?
Yes, absolutely. So this program is a Monday through Friday from 7 to 3 program. They get it conditions and prepares them for being out in the workforce. So they get their union breaks, they get their union lunch, and that's just within the class. Afterwards, they start to form their own study groups, and they study with each other in the evenings, whether it's blueprint reading, math, whatever skill they're learning that day. This program is in preparation for going back into our community. We've had over 12 individuals join the union, with 5 more pending the assessment. We've had individuals go back to the courts and ask to stay in custody longer to finish this program.
Is that right?
Plus, there's the rehabilitation factor to it. Several of the participants didn't realize or have stolen several of these items that they use, these tools, and they never knew what they were taking from the individual. So there's the rehabilitation factor to it as well, where they understand that tool they stole was someone's livelihood. They couldn't go to work for that day, that week, that month until they were able to buy that tool again. And I want to highlight that participants like Robert here are building our community. If you notice, in Alameda County especially, you have to have so much percentage of the workforce from the area itself. So these participants are being released into our community and going to have jobs in Oakland and Berkeley, building the infrastructure we need to continue being successful in the Bay Area. This program, it aligns with the Board of Supervisors' visions, and we have support. This program is a model and how the jail is going to progress and change as we look at programs in the future. There will be a vocational component to it where the individuals leave with some type of job behind it. Several of our participants make $30 to $40 an hour upon getting released within a week or two of being released from jail.
Wow.
It gives them an opportunity for essentially a new way in life. And there's endless jobs, as you know. Infrastructure is a dire need in California. I believe currently for every 100 that are retiring from the trades, only one is coming in. So there is a drastic shortage we need, and we are here to help and get those individuals into those trade unions to help continue in developing and being successful.
That's just incredible.
It absolutely is.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with Sheriff Sanchez to talk more about the critical role community partnerships provide to the Santa Rita Jail. Sheriff Sanchez has now joined us with Mr. Robles. Let's talk more about the program.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is an opportunity for me to actually have a conversation with you to see kind of where you started in life and how this program has impacted you. And I also want you to be honest about certain things as far as like how we can get better. The reason why we brought this program forward is because we know, at least I have recognized to start, that having people held accountable for actions that they've taken, right? Criminal actions. You get sentenced, you go to jail, and I think people just expect that you're going to learn from just going to jail, right? And spending some time. But that's not the case. It's really about how do we put programs in place to get you better prepared to come out into society and actually be a good person to bring back to society, to bring back to your community, right? To be somebody that, you know, your kids look up to, that, you know, your neighbors are like, hey, I remember Robert when, you know, he was down and out. And now look at him now. You know, the pride that comes with that, and to continue that forward. So just, what were your limitations? Like, what was preventing you from taking like an opportunity like this before you even came into incarceration?
Me personally, I've done a lot of time. I can tell you I've done well over 160 months.
Ooh.
Since 2004. I've made my annual visits at Santa Rita since 2014. I'm proud to say that I feel accomplished right now. I've never experienced in all my time doing a program like this, having something like this offered to me. It's changed my outlook. You know, when you're doing time, I don't think there's any rehabilitation better than the mental health that I'm getting now by going through a program like this. This is the best mental health you can actually give somebody, is an opportunity or a second chance at life. And a lot of us are on our third, fourth, and fifth chance, you know what I mean? But their vision has, for anybody who's had that pilot light in life kind of like dwindle, that little flame, this has definitely instilled it, you know what I mean? We go through some hard times in jail, and that light's flickering within us a lot of times just by the conditions that we're subject to, or how we're living, and our passion and purpose is not there a lot of times. This has definitely rekindled that for me and any individual that I've gone in the program with in my third cohort. They say there's no I in team, you know what I mean? It's a we thing over there, and when one shines, we all shine over there. Like I said before, I'm forever grateful for this program, for the opportunity it's given me. It's changed my outlook on life. It's given me an opportunity to have a 401k, a pension, my first bank account. This is actually the first time I've got my license. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it's the first time I've gotten my license. Things are not an uphill battle for me anymore. So my life word is accomplished right now. You know, I feel accomplished. Every day is a new experience for me. I've done a complete 360. You You know, I've done a complete 360 in my life. I suffered with addiction, drugs and alcohol, which hindered me a lot of times from being successful. I'm glad I'm able to share this with people. I think that it's important to share your testimony with others, because my testimony might be somebody else's survival guide. So I think it's important for me to share that and to let them know that these things are within reach. You know, they're realistically within reach. My dreams are happening. You know, I'm being successful. I'm thriving out here. I couldn't have done this without the sheriff's vision, Sergeant Murphy, and everybody else affiliated with the program. Without them, I don't know where I'd be right now. You know, so they gave me a plan, and they gave me a roadmap, and it was up to us at the end of the day. They told us that we're going to do this on an old school handshake. You know, we've done a lot of footwork to make this happen. We're going to shake your hand and hope you be righteous on your end and follow through, and that's the least I could do for them. That's the least I could do for them, so.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, you know, I got to say that to see individuals like you take advantage of the program and to see the success that comes after, right? I mean, you are out there, you're working, you're taking pride in all the things that you're doing now, and you've got all these things lined up, a bank account, a 401k, you've got something you're working towards. That for me is the reward. And this is just going to get better. Hopefully, you know, we're having conversations with other trade partners to get more programming into our facility, because the more programming we get, the more trained people we get, the better off we are just as a community, as a whole, right? So this is something that only happens with love.
Yes.
You absolutely have to love the people that you work with and the people that you're trying to help. And I know that we've, you know, in law enforcement, I can say there's always been this culture of us versus them. And that's not something that I believe in, because we'll always have that divide if we don't do something to break those barriers. And so that's where now I'm in a position where I can do things, right? And that's what I'm going to be working towards. And so it's really treating people like people and caring about them, because that's what it takes to bring these programs in. But it takes the hard work of the people who are, you know, I have a vision, but the hard work is for the people who are actually making it happen. And so we've got a great reentry team. You've already, you know, talked about Sergeant Murphy, and we've had Sergeant Murphy on. He is one of our finest. He has that love and devotion to make it work, and you have to have that to make this work. And I need more of him, but I also need more of you, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, you know, I think I spoke to this when everybody graduated, as far as what you do with this is on you, right? And you said, you know, you need 3 or 4, 5, sometimes 5 chances, but you know, we're here when you're ready to take those opportunities. And it's really about one time it's going to stick. And for you, you know, you're there, right?
Yep.
And there's no going backwards from here. So it's how do we get better, and really tapping into you to say, like, hey, if there's any time where you get some free time, because I know you're working 6 days a week and it's a little tough, but when you get some time, like being able to come back into the jail and mentor other individuals who are thinking about getting into the program or are in the program, and making sure that they see it through. And then them being able to see you and your success and the things that you're going to be able to buy and achieve through the means that you have now. Like you're working, you're making a good wage. Now I can buy a house one day. The interest rates are a little ridiculous still, but and prices need to come down. But there's that opportunity that you didn't see before that you now have the ability to achieve. So it's really bringing that back, because that's what I ask. You know, when people are able to take advantage of programs that we have, if you could bring it back, even if it's just once, to come through, speak to a class, or speak to people who are applying and waiting for their program to start, just to make sure that they stay committed to it, because that's what we need. So there's a lot of people that are advocates for reducing the jail population out there. And I agree. We should be reducing our jail population, but we got to do it the right way. We will continue to fail people if we set them free with no skills, with no means for them to do on their own. And so the way that we do it, and the way that we do it right, and the way that we do it where we're not harming and putting more harm on individuals that are getting out, is to give you some skills, to give you some tools, whether it's education, and I don't like school either. So education would not be my path. I'd be like, okay, give me a hammer, right? Give me something to do, because I'm not a school kid, you know, just never been in me. So that's why I became a cop. But it's really finding, like we have LIUNA right now, right? And they've been fantastic partners. And I don't know if you want to speak to the instruction that you've received while you're in the program, like the way that they deliver, right? As far as the instruction, how was that received? Like they built you up, it was motivating. Because I remember watching a little bit of how they were providing the instruction, and it's like you couldn't help but like not want to do what they were asking you to do. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, our instructor's pretty. He's a special guy. He's a special guy. I got a lot. I got a lot of love for him. I got a lot of respect for him. He's all about integrity. He's all about teaching us our passion and our purpose and what we're trying to accomplish. And it's not going to be done without hard work. Everything we're doing, he's making us work for. Yeah. He's definitely not a light guy. You know what I mean? He's going to drill it and instill anything that we need to survive out there in us. I'm happy for him that he has his passion behind helping us, because I don't think there's a reward other than to watch people succeed, and that's priceless. Yeah. Regardless of your paycheck, the reward that you receive when you're able to help an individual and you see them flourish is priceless. So.
Yeah, it's just like watching your kids, right?
Yeah.
And like
watching them grow
all the
up.
Investment that you had, the time, the focus, getting them to where they needed to be, and then they actually get there, right? Yeah. So I think that's how the instructors feel, that's how I feel, even though I really don't put too much work on it, you know, I just...
well, we're doing all the work.
Yeah, it's all on you
We're
now.
out there sweating.
Yeah.
We're out there sweating, busting the sweat, but it's a good sweat at the end of the day.
Good.
I'm a prime example of that. So they're doing their job. They're doing their job.
Very good. Well, I'm hopeful with additional programming, additional partnerships, we're going to be able to turn out more successful people like you. So I'm really proud to have been able to have a conversation with you.
It's an honor and a privilege.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you guys for everything.
Absolutely.
Gosh, nothing breeds success but success itself, and you're doing a wonderful job. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with Sergeant Murphy and Sheriff Sanchez to talk more about the critical role community partnerships provide to the Santa Rita Jail. Welcome back. I'm here again with Alameda County Sheriff Sanchez and Sergeant Murphy, talking about the importance of reentry programs at the Santa Rita Jail.
Yeah, so, you know, one thing we talk about having the trade partners in the jail, but there's other gaps that we need to fill to make sure that those programs are successful. And one of our partners, community-based organization called Off the Street Ministries, has been just integral as far as making sure that people, if they don't have housing, they have somewhere to go while they're still continuing on with their journey. So Sergeant Murphy works directly with them, and he can tell you a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So Off the Street Ministry, we work with Ron German, who's the CEO of the organization. They have transitional housing, which is a huge pivotal piece for people to be successful. For our reentry, it really takes a village for someone to be successful, to take care of housing, employment, all those things. We have the employment piece as partnership with LIUNA, and Local 304, which is the Alameda County local, has been a huge partner in the success of all of our participants. But Off the Street Ministry has proven that gap where housing, as you know, in California is a we are in a crisis of housing, and they have stepped up, and they have allowed all of our participants that need some type of transitional housing, they have partnered with us to get that accomplished.
You brought a short video about Off the Street Ministries. Let's take a look at it now.
Hi, I'm Ron with OTS Reentry Services. We're a clean and sober facility and reentry program based in Oakland. We currently have about 60 beds on our property. We have 5 buildings. One of the buildings I've converted to our program building. We currently have 14 beds in our reentry program. 10 of those beds are really specifically for the Sheriff's Department. We currently have 6 guys on our property right now. We've had a couple graduates in the last 7 months from the program. One of the things that we've found that if the guys come directly from Santa Rita to our program, we're almost at 100%, at least getting them through the first 2 months on our property. And then from there, at around 60 days, they can move into sober living, or they can go back to their families if they graduate the program. In the first 30 days, we help them do all the things they need to do to get to their assessment, to get their driver's license, to get any court things settled and all that. Usually within about 30 days, they're on the list at the union. We've had some guys, within 3 weeks get to work, and some guys maybe up to a month and a week to get to work. Just depends on all of that. All the guys that we have now are either waiting for their assessments or currently working. At the end of at about between 30 and 60 days, the guys usually have saved enough money to move into our sober living. Our sober living is very affordable, so makes it easy for them to transition. One of the beautiful things about our program is the brotherhood that they generate. They have brotherhood inside here, so when you get 2 or 3 of those guys together, they kind of pair up. And one of the really successful things I think at Off the Street is just that they're not alone, they're not isolated. Some of the guys have gotten out of here and they've gone and used or done drugs right away, or they try to go back to that old environment and they never show up for their assessment. One of the things about having housing behind the program is that it takes 30 days to get the whole process. Once you're out and you've got to get your driver's license, you got to get to the assessment, and you got to get on the list, then you got to get called out to a job. I've noticed with the guys that are in the program that they start to get discouraged in that first couple weeks because it's not going fast enough for them. The addict mind kind of, we want everything fast. The good thing is they have all the other brothers, they have all the other guys that are living on our property to see that they can see where they're going. So that first 30 days after getting released and getting to that assessment and getting actually to work is a really critical part of what we're doing here. I think that without it, the odds go way down. Our success rate has been 80%, almost 100% through the program. So we have what we do for the Santa Rita program is we have a 60-day program for the guys so we can get them all the way to the union, get them to their assessment, make sure that they have driver's license, whatever paperwork they need, get them through all their court dates. And the nice thing about our place is we also have sober living. So after they go through the 60 days, which is usually funded by outside sources, so they don't have to worry about rent and all that. But they're usually to work within the first month and a half. So they graduate from the 30-day room, usually working by 30 days. They go to the 60-day room until they have enough money to move into our sober living. In most cases, we've been transitioning guys in 60 to 75 days into sober living. At that time, they're fully self-supporting, which is really amazing for a lot of the different programs. But because of what the Sheriff's Department has done ahead of time to train these guys, we come right behind and really teach these guys exactly what they've already been taught here. This whole Santa Rita has changed. I mean, I was a formerly incarcerated person 20 years ago, and it's not like it is today. Sheriff Sanchez has done an amazing thing with the jail, and her whole attitude about how we are going to treat the inmates is amazing. David Halbert brought me in on a visit. You guys were showing him the program. I was so blown away and amazed. And these guys are outside, right? They're using power tools, you know, which is it's an amazing thing. You know, you're outside. I mean, I guess they could try to escape, but who would want to? I mean, they're in a program where they're changing their whole lives. And I think the guys that have come to us from the sheriff's department, which makes it a lot better than just guys coming from Cherry Hill or different places that we've had to do recovery with, is that they're already programmed. They've had this 12-week training, so they have a vision of what they can do for their lives. And then once they get to our place, we just keep that going. We're doing the same training. We're making sure that everything that they learned here is going to be used on the outside, and having the other guys around them is crucial. Oh my gosh, if this was here when I was here last time, the last time I was here, I mean, my backstory, I got clean in 1988. I relapsed when I had about 13 years for a few years, and then I came here, and then I got extradited to Las Vegas. But now I have almost 21 years clean. But the thing about it is, when I came here last time, it was all about punishment, and there wasn't anything like this. But if this had been here, I would have signed up for it immediately. Being mechanically inclined, and I'm actually a general contractor now. That's what I did after I got out the last time. But I mean, as soon as I seen this is, I mean, I had my partner, Mike Tiffany, when we started our thing, I said, man, if we could just get a pod in the jail where we could start to teach guys, you know, how to stay clean and sober and how to get a job. You know, this is the most amazing program I've ever seen. I think that this is going to catch on and be like wildfire throughout the prison system and the jail system.
It's always an ask for the sheriff's office to community-based organizations about come into our facility, take a tour, see what we're doing, because the sheriff's office can't do all the work. We have to rely on our community services, because when people get out, those are the individuals that they're going to meet up with.
Right.
So really partnering with people to bring services into the jail that will follow them out into the community is a path to success, and that fills that gap. And, you know, sadly, we don't have a lot of those partners. So it's really, when we do find someone who is willing to come in and provide a service that we absolutely need, which is housing, especially transitional housing, it's a win. But we need more of those partners. But I'm thankful to Off the Street Ministries, because this is a big gap that we've been trying to fill for a long time, and they've been able to do it. Mm-hmm. They have only such, you know, a number of beds that they can fill. So that's, you know, that's a challenge, but it's really, hopefully they're able to get some support from the county to build that out into additional beds. But also it's kind of like an outreach, a constant
Correct.
Outreach to get more partners to come in and fill more gaps, right? Transportation is still a gap. That's one thing that we're still looking for, because even though we have a shuttle service, or there's public transportation that's out in front of the jail, when people get released, they have an opportunity to take that. Sometimes people wander off just from walking out the door to the outside, mm-hmm. and then they get in trouble as soon as they get released. So it's really having someone or an entity that can provide, like, once someone has been identified that's going to get released, mm-hmm. to have some sort of discharge planning. And we are doing that work in the jail right now, but only certain people qualify for some of those discharge, like more significant discharge planning mm-hmm. efforts. But it's really capturing the people who are falling in the cracks, you know, in the gaps, where we can get someone identified to pick them up from jail and take them to wherever they need to go, whether it's a treatment service, whether it's their first interview, wherever that might be. And that's what we're really looking for right now, because the big gap at this point in time, if they're not going through program with LIUNA, they walk out those doors and, you know, we don't know what happens with them. So it's really making sure that we get that kind of warm handoff for someone, because we lose them in between. So that's something that we're still working towards. And there's other partners that we do work with as well.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if you want to touch on that as well.
We work closely with probation and our partnership with Alameda County Probation and a lot of community-based organizations, Rubicon, Roots, and there's just a few of several. I think one thing to really highlight about this program is the rapport that deputies have with the participants. So Robert, for example, is one of many that still stays in contact with our deputies that are a part of this program, and sergeants, where we'll actually go to the training center on the day of their assessment and encourage them and just be there and be present. And this is on their own accord. They have no, they're not required to stay in contact with us, but they want to be in contact with us where we can know what they're doing and just stay in contact. And that's a different aspect, I think, than a lot of programs, is that rapport and camaraderie that us as law enforcement build with the participants.
Thank you, Sheriff Sanchez, Sergeant Murphy, and Mr. Robles for sharing your insights and experiences today. From everything we've learned, it sounds as though the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, specifically the Alameda County Jail, is making meaningful strides in helping individuals transition effectively. For more information about the County Sheriff's Department and their programs, you can go to alamedacountysheriff.org. Thank you for watching.